Hey there, how are you doing? Today I'm bringing you some of the best open-world games that let you explore the ruins of civilization after the apocalypse. We'll be looking at games with huge maps to traverse, freedom to approach things your way, and rich worlds that really sell the post-apocalyptic atmosphere. Let's jump right in. Mad Max is all about fast cars, explosions, and surviving the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Based on the Mad Max movie franchise, you play as Max Rokitansky wandering the desert in search of parts to build the ultimate vehicle. The world has gone to ruins after the apocalypse, with gangs fighting over resources like water, oil, and gasoline. The combat with the car is wild as you smash into enemies or blast them away with your shotgun, all from the driver's seat. And the melee combat is just as brutal as you whip out metal pipes, wrenches, and shivs to protect your prized set of wheels. There is nothing quite like bashing in some zombie skulls with your friends in State of Decay 2. This action-packed survival game puts you in charge of a small community of survivors who must scavenge resources, build bases, and make allies and enemies in their fight against hordes of the undead. With permadeath, realistic resource management, and sandbox-style gameplay, every life or death decision matters in this tense open world. Next on our list is Dying Light 2, which takes place in a sprawling urban cityscape, now overrun by the infected. Traversing this world by climbing, jumping, and gliding across rooftops and balconies is an absolute blast, and the day-night cycle completely transforms the gameplay, as the zombies become more dangerous at night. You really feel a constant sense of urgency to scavenge for supplies and make it to safety before the sun goes down. Stranding throws you into a decimated but hauntingly beautiful version of the United States, where you take the role of Sam Bridges. Your job is to reconnect isolated cities by delivering supplies on foot across rugged terrain, while also dealing with invisible creatures that can cause massive explosions if caught. While it won't appeal to everyone, Stranding provides an artistic take on civilization's rebuilding after disaster. On the survival side, we have The Long Dark, set in the wilds of northern Canada after a geomagnetic disaster. With no zombies or human enemies, the apocalypse here is the harsh, freezing wilderness itself. You must survive as long as possible against the elements, by searching for food, water, clothing, and shelter, while battling cold, storms, and the wildlife around you. If you really want to test your survival skills, this game is the one. Next up is Days Gone, an action-adventure game set in the Pacific Northwest 2 years after a global pandemic. Playing as bounty hunter Deacon St. John, you'll traverse the beautiful but harsh world on your motorcycle, scavenging for supplies, taking on odd jobs, and of course battling swarms of freakers. Massive hordes containing hundreds of freakers roam the world, making for absolutely intense encounters. Let's move on to Metro Exodus, which sends you on a cross-continental train trip across post-nuclear Russia. Taking place after the events of Metro 2033 and Last Light, you'll alternate between exploring the irradiated wasteland and traveling through frozen tunnels and intricately designed train interiors. Supplies are scarce, so you'll need to scavenge weapons like a crossbow and homemade firearms. Mutated monsters and hostile human factions also stand in your way as you unravel the game's mysteries. For something more colorful and lighthearted, Biomutant throws you into an imaginative world of anthropomorphic animal tribes struggling after an apocalyptic event poisons the Tree of Life. Character customization in this game is robust as you take on the role of a raccoon-like creature with mutation abilities. And the melee combat feels impactful with each strike, while guns and psi powers add ranged options. The open map also encourages exploration and platforming, with places like oil rigs, underground tunnels, and tree houses to discover. Far Cry New Dawn is a spin-off sequel to Far Cry 5 that takes place 17 years after the nuclear apocalypse. This FPS gives you a vibrant, colorful take on the post-apocalypse. Instead of the world ending in the 80s, it's set in a future where survivors have had time to rebuild and form new factions. As you explore Hope County, you'll see lush, overgrown ruins, makeshift settlements, and retro-futuristic vehicles that really set it apart from other games. Fade to Silence is a game that blends eldritch horror with survival gameplay. In this dark title, you play as a man named Ash, exploring a frozen wasteland plagued by a supernatural storm that actively morphs environments and summons otherworldly monsters. By gathering resources and building up a central safe haven, you'll attract followers that can aid in construction and defense. But the corrupted monsters will attack relentlessly, requiring you to venture out into the nightmarish blizzard and face Lovecraftian entities. Of course, I have to mention Fallout New Vegas, which is a classic example of a post-nuclear apocalypse done right. Set in the Mojave Desert, this game nails the retro-futuristic 1950s aesthetic. You really feel like you've stepped into a post-apocalyptic wasteland, where civilization is still trying to claw its way back. The open world is incredible to explore, with hidden bunkers, monster-filled vaults, and quirky towns dotting the landscape. This game has some of the best environmental storytelling I've seen too, with countless unique tales waiting to be uncovered. Moving on to DayZ, this game throws you right into a cutthroat post-apocalyptic sandbox, focused purely on survival. Set in the fictional post-Soviet Republic of Chernaris, you start with nothing and must scavenge for the survival essentials just to stay alive. Bandits, harmful diseases, hunger, and environmental conditions can kill you just as easily as zombies, and every encounter with another player could mean a cooperative partnership or a deadly ambush. Now Rage 2 throws you into a chaotic open world where you play as Walker, a ranger trying to take down the oppressive authority. Mutants of all kinds roam the wasteland, which you can annihilate with a wide variety of upgradable firearms and special abilities like Dash and Vortex. The shooting mechanism is super satisfying and empowering as you raze authority strongholds to the ground. And zipping around in vehicles while causing mayhem makes this a great option if you want more guns blazing fun compared to slow burn survival. Horizon Forbidden West takes us thousands of years into the future after our own civilization has fallen into ruin, replaced by mysterious machine creatures that dominate the land. As heroine Aloy, you'll traverse the expansive map set in former California, Utah, and Nevada, uncovering the secrets of the old ones. Fighting giant metal dinosaurs with fluid action gameplay is a blast, while side activities like underwater exploration, racing challenges, and cauldrons offer plenty of variety. For a retro-futuristic RPG, check out The Outer Worlds, a first-person RPG from Obsidian set in a corporate-run future. After waking from a long cryosleep, you find yourself lost in space on the fringes of the galaxy. You explore various planets and space stations, each with their own vibe and art style. The corporations in charge of these worlds all want to use you for their benefit, so you need to be careful. For the ultimate zombie survival challenge, look no further than Project Zomboid. This ultra-realistic retro-style game spawns you into a world where almost everything wants to eat your brains. Scavenging for supplies is vital but dangerous, and securing safe houses while maintaining your frail physical and mental health are constant challenges. It really feels unique with its insane depth of simulated survival gameplay. If you've ever wanted to experience an open-world game that's as zany as it is adrenaline-pumping, look no further than Sunset Overdrive. Set in a vibrant post-apocalyptic world, the game encourages you to grind on rails, bounce off cars, and swing on overhead wires. The parkour feels like a wild mix of Tony Hawk's skateboarding and acrobatics, and creates a sense of freedom and creativity in your movement. This game doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's part of its charm. After a long wait and several delays, Dead Island 2 finally came out this year. The game is set in sunny California, where a zombie outbreak has turned the state into a bloody playground. The open world lets you explore cities, beaches, forests, and deserts across Northern California, all filled to the brim with hordes of zombies just waiting to take a chunk out of you. And combat is brutal and satisfying, letting you craft and customize hundreds of weapons to slice, smash, and shoot the undead. And that covers some of the best open-world apocalyptic games in my opinion. Let me know what games you liked in the comments, or if you have any other suggestions. Also check out the latest video. I talked about some good games you probably never played. You'll definitely find something that might become your new favorite. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.